Hello, friends and travelers, and welcome back to the second episode of the Long Rest podcast, the podcast where we talk about games, movies, and the industry and anything exciting. My name's Connor Noble, also known as sleepjie, and joining me, as usual, are my co-hosts Joseph and Diggy Sean. So the first thing that we're going to talk about today, real quick, this is something that's been brought up very recently, and I don't really know the intricacies of the stock market. I only know the basics of the situation, but the whole GameStop stock thing. Have you guys been following it?
Not at all. I just know some people are very upset about it.
Yeah, I think they're upset because essentially what happened was GameStop stocks crashed, and a lot of people bought them really cheap.
Yeah.
And so essentially what that meant was that if like the billionaires who like own GameStop ever wanted to buy the stocks back, it would cost them like lots and lots of money.
Right.
It was hedge fund companies that were trying to short GameStop, but people bought up their shares to make the prices go up, so the hedge funds lost money.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and the app, like there's a really popular trading app called Robinhood, and they like set it so that you couldn't buy GameStop shares anymore, and people got really upset about it.
Oh.
Because they saw it as the app trying to protect the hedge fund owners.
Yeah, it's going against a little bit of like a free market thing, but like they're just saying because it's a volatile market at the moment, it's not like it hurt the status quo.
I just wanted to get your guys' opinions on it, but if there's nothing else that we can say about it, then I guess we can just move on to the second topic. I don't really have much to say about it.
I don't know enough about it.
I'm one of those people where people talk about stocks, and I'm just like, this goes straight over my head. I mean, if rich people are pissed off, then in my mind it's a good thing. But I don't know if that's a really like reductive way of looking at it.
Is that the communist in you, Joe?
Yeah, there's a rebellious side of me that's like, yeah, fuck the man, but then there's also like I don't care. But at the same time, it's like, way, you know what I mean? It's like Mr. Billionaire can't get his fifth yacht. Like, so the fuck what?
Yeah,
exactly.
The second topic is a topic that hopefully won't go over your head. Fallout: The Frontier. Have you guys heard of it?
I've heard of it, yeah.
I haven't heard of it.
That whole shenanigan.
Okay, so Sean's apparently heard about some of it. Well, for Joe, it's one of the most anticipated Fallout mods ever. DLC sized with a huge team. It's had a rocky release after players found the mod to have some serious writing issues, to put it lightly. There's a companion in the mod with a possible dialogue option to turn them into, and I quote, your little slave girl, and she later makes some like really weird remarks about her feet, which is, obviously just some sort of like really thinly veiled foot fetish that the developers are trying to like put into the mod. There's also a Wild Wasteland encounter where you need to pass a skill check to fuck a Deathclaw. That's something that's in it. And one of the artists for the game also posted like paedophilic content onto their DeviantArt or something like that, and they got chucked off of the team. It's had a very tumultuous cycle. One of the developers also put in a stolen asset from Doom 3, and when some guy called him out in the Discord, he got immediately banned. There's also a character who's a parody character who's just taking the piss out of like Tumblr porn artists and she has purple hair, which is, if that's not ironic, I don't know what is. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
Well, when you make a user-generated mod, you're gonna get that type of stuff happening, aren't you?
Yeah. Well, it's such a shame because the lead developer or the project head or whatever, he put together like this huge mod team, and it was in development for a good few years. And to have it sort of fall short of fans' expectations just because of like a few people that were sort of the bad eggs, like that must suck.
How long has it been in the works? Because I haven't heard of this.
It's been in the works for a couple of years now.
It's a Fallout 4 mod, or
Fallout New Vegas.
Oh, New Vegas, right?
Yeah, so expectations are high because New Vegas is.
Yeah, it's held on such a pedestal by lots of people.
A perfect game with no bugs at all.
A perfect game with no bugs and no story flaws.
It is it is a great game, but it's just
absolutely. But as I said in my Cyberpunk video, I'm fucking sick to death of hearing just about how good it is when it's like it's
apparently the mod's been removed.
Yeah, it got removed from the Nexus. They are planning to release it on Steam soon.
Yeah.
Once they've removed all of the content that was so controversial to begin with.
One developer is alleged to have posted animated paedophilic content on their personal artist accounts.
Yeah. Are you reading the Eurogamer article?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm also on it now.
Yeah.
The developer in question is called Zoo the Skunk.
Yes, I watched a YouTube video yesterday while I was... Because this is like... The reason that I put this at the top of the list is just because it's just one of those topics that we can just push out of the way before we get into the other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And last night when I was reading about this whole thing, I actually watched like a 30-minute video of a guy. Well, I say I watched all. I didn't watch all of it. I watched like the first like 10 minutes of it or so, and then I just decided to put down some bullet point notes that we can just talk about it vaguely. And the guy who did the video, he was talking to the project heads about the different developers that were sort of involved with the situations, and apparently like they the people who were like one of the programmers was sort of like one of the key programmers for the project, and he threatened to leave like lots because he wanted more creative control than what he basically wanted it to all be like me. It's like, I know how to code, so you'll adhere to my ideas for the game, sort of thing.
So he was just like a tyrant leading it.
Yeah, he was very tyrannical with the content that he wanted to put in, and apparently the project heads had like a really hard time reining his ideas in, and also like even just silly little things like balancing issues were apparently a nightmare to discuss with him. Like I couldn't imagine. Because I've worked in like a lot of like team projects before for games and stuff over my course, my undergraduate degree, and like if there was ever a problem, that we were always able to resolve it sort of very, not amicably, amicably. Like we were all able to put our heads together and like make compromises for each other. But if you're working on a game, and you're that kind of guy that just wants it to be me, then the game's never going to go anywhere, and I think that's evidenced quite clearly right here. Joe, did you have to do many team projects while you were in your degree?
Yeah, we did a few. I'm personally not a big fan of group projects, though. I really don't like it.
See, as a 3D artist, I'm quite scared of working in teams as well, just because artists butt heads all the time. Because everyone has.
If you're really like, I feel like if you're a really like passionate, creative person, you kind of tend to struggle more with group projects because you have like a vision in your head, and then every time someone wants to deviate from that, you're like, well, that's not how I pictured it and stuff. So it's hard in that respect.
Shaw, did you just open the talking points document?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Because.
Right. Well, so relating to that previous point, Sky Oblivion got a new trailer recently. They finished 7 out of 10 of the outdoor planes apparently. So we should be looking at a release maybe by the end of this year.
Really?
That would be nice.
They're reworking all of the dungeons so that they don't feel as randomly generated. And like I'm not really sure how much I agree with that, because if they're trying to recreate Oblivion in Skyrim's engine, then surely they should just recreate Oblivion. Like Skywind, the game that I work on as well, has this sort of the same issue where it's like you have a lot of creative leeway, but you also need to respect the original vision of what the game was supposed to look like and feel like. And I feel like if you go around fucking with the dungeons too much, just to like sort of like, it will improve them, because Oblivion's dungeons are kind of horrible, but it's because they're so horrible that they have sort of a charm to them, I feel like.
I don't think they're good in any of the Bethesda games, if I'm being honest.
Well,
any of the ones that I've played.
Skyrim's dungeons are pretty cool.
They were better.
Yeah, they definitely were better. We haven't seen anything from Fallout Capital Wasteland in 7 months now, over 7 months.
Is that another? Oh, is that the one where they're trying to port Fallout 3 into Fallout 4 or something?
Yeah, Fallout 3. One? Yeah, it is. We also haven't. 3 months ago, we got a gameplay trailer for Fallout 4 New Vegas, which I'm personally really looking forward to. However, if you watch the trailer and you watch if you watch the trailer and then watch the Fallout 4 trailer, that was like showcased at E3, you'd think they were both made by the exact same person because it's all combat.
Right.
It's like all these music played over just like lots of clips back to back to back of someone shooting at something else.
So just the Fallout 4 trailer.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. If you go watch the New Vegas trailer, like the Fallout 4 New Vegas trailer right now, it literally is just bomb. It'll
be like, forget your troubles, come on, get happy, and they're like,
yeah, someone firing a fat man, and you're supposed to be like, whoa, whoa, as if we haven't seen a fat man before.
Well, I mean, the combat's like the least exciting bit about a Fallout game anyway. So,
not to Fallout 4 fans apparently.
It's like I said, it is better in Fallout 4. I mean, the combat's pretty atrocious in 3 in New Vegas, I would say.
Yeah, and so the reason that I wanted to talk about these sort of like remakes is to pitch the idea to you guys of what do you think that there are ever going to be a remake of there are ever going to be remakes of Skyrim and Fallout 4 in later engines? Or do you think that
probably
user-based ones? I don't think.
That's what you mean, right?
Yeah. I mean like fan-created remakes.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Probably.
If what's the new one that's coming out? Is it Redfall or something? It's called what's it called?
It hasn't got a name. We don't know.
The new it's got a rumored name, hasn't it? What is it?
It was Redfall. It was that was the name that was copyrighted.
Well, Elder Scrolls 6. We'll just call it that.
Yeah.
So if that comes out on I'm hoping a brand new version.
I don't know how brand new it's gonna be. Like it'll look prettier, but
no. Do you mean Redguard?
Is that it? Redguard?
No, it won't have been Redguard because there is already an Elder
Scrolls. No, there was a copyrighted.
I'm thinking of Elder Scrolls 6. It had like a. That's what they were calling it. I think
it'll be in High Rock. Like that's where most people think that it's.
I think it's going to be between. I think it's going to be between High Rock and Hammerfall, like because the river divides them, and that's where it pans during the cinematic.
Yeah, but obviously
on the river between the mountains.
Obviously, Hammerfall isn't like it's sort of like it's very like actually not. Is it?
Because Hammerfall and the other place, can't remember what it's called, High Rock. Those are the 2 last places to fall like the Old Mary Dominion's like influence.
Yeah, well, but we also don't know how far in the future it takes place as well.
Yeah, but I think as well, if it's set in the future, it'll continue that story because basically Skyrim's like shadow counseled now by them. Or if it goes in the past, we'll be able to see the White Gold Concordat when the people got sold out, do you remember? And the Thalmor tried to invade, but they got held back.
This is what I mean. Like, it could be set so far in the future that maybe the Aldmeri Dominion's been defeated, or maybe the Aldmeri Dominion just or they've just taken over everyone because, like, we didn't see anything of the White Gold Concordat in Oblivion, and then in Skyrim it just happened. Like, it's just a major bit of history that we that we had to just learn about. So, like, we don't know.
Could be anything.
According to this, it's set in. According to this, I don't know how true this is. This is saying it's set in Hammerfell.
Yeah, it says Redfall. Look, Elder Scrolls 6 News. Redfall trademark could reveal Bethesda's Skyrim sequel.
Okay.
There was a trademark for the name Redfall made by ZeniMax Media.
Yeah, so I think that
that could also be some Elder Scrolls Online stuff, though.
Yeah,
it's very true.
It was made in 2018, so it could have been anything.
But yeah, back to the point. If this is in a like shiny new engine or whatever, then there'll definitely be users.
Oh my god, it better be
recreating it.
I mean, if you look at Fallout 76, like if you look at like screenshots of the environment, it looks fucking beautiful. Like you can imagine how nice it's going to look. Like that's one thing that they have improved of the fidelity of the game, not necessarily the character models, like but the game itself looks pretty good. Like if you look across a plain in Skyrim, you'll see the same texture repeated and a couple of wolves just waiting for you to walk over to them if you bloody viewed distances far enough. If you look at the newer ones, like the game looks very good, and that's what we're gonna get. We're gonna get a lot of foliage and a lot of tat.
Here's my
to make the game
problem,
look
though.
nice.
Here's my primary issue, is the fact that there's only so far that you can stretch an engine. I don't care how many times they polish a turd, it's still a turd. Gamebryo was in like 2002 or something like that. They've been using the same engine for 18, 19 years.
Ever since Morrowind, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Near enough the same engine, just with like obviously increases in graphical fidelity and physics, but it's the same engine. It's the same base engine.
Unreal Engine is still a fantastic engine, but they're still releasing Unreal Engine 5 because they know that a new engine brings new capabilities. And I feel like
look how we were talking about this, I think just yesterday, weren't we, about how incredible it's going to be. I mean, obviously you know more about the technical side of it than I do, but like just the new opportunities it'll present to developers, like it's just so exciting.
Yeah, and this is why I think that Bethesda need to follow up with Gamebryo 2.0 or something.
Yeah, well, to be fair, like I don't know what you guys feel, but I don't think Todd's as much as a sellout that he'd be like, no, we don't need a new engine. He probably does want a new engine. Like, I
think I've heard about this before. It's not up to him though, is it? It's up
exactly,
to
yeah.
ZeniMax.
Yeah.
And if ZeniMax go, well, the last 5 games have all been on Gamebryo and they've sold amazing, why do you need a new engine for?
Well, because pretty much every game that's been released on Gamebryo since Oblivion has just been so fucking littered with bugs.
But the thing is though, like it's just like I think before Fallout 76, it was just an accepted thing for Bethesda games. People just going, it's buggy,
even
but
when
it's
Fallout
part of the charm or whatever.
Even when Fallout 4 came out, though, like the charm started to wear away from many people. Like, there was like, okay, this is cute, but it's really getting on my nerves now that you keep on leaving it to, like, the mod community to sort out your problems.
It is lazy. It is really lazy.
And Fallout 76 was just the tip of the iceberg, because this has been going on for years. And this is what I'm saying. Gamebryo is causing them lots of issues. They are obviously making things look a lot nicer, and they're putting a lot of work into the graphical side of things. But in terms of technical sides of things, it's outdated, and it causes them no end of bugs that they need to fix. And I mean, obviously, bugs are going to come with any engine that they use. That's just like a big side of it. But like, you'd think that with their familiarity with the Gamebryo engine, with how long they've been working on it, they'd know how to fix certain things. And so, like, it gets to a point where you have to think, well, maybe there are just some things that they simply do not know how to fix that the mod community apparently does. Which seems strange to me.
I don't think that's the case.
I think it's time constraints, isn't it? They just know that.
Yeah, true.
They can release it in sort of a buggy state, and because the modders will just spend ages with it. Yeah. I mean, the thing is, we're talking about remakes of Skyrim and Fallout 4 in this possibly new engine or updated engine. Let's say we'll just say updated. But I mean, how long has Skywind and Skyblivion been in development for, and it's still not done?
Yeah, Well, I mean, to be fair, it is a team of.
It's a massive project, and I know it's people working like voluntarily, but how long is it? Because by the time, if a new engine comes out, it's already going to be outdated.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
That's the issue.
Yeah, I think this was another thing that I wanted to bring up as well. This is why I don't really think that there will be a remake of Skyrim or Fallout 4 10 years from now. Because, like, as you said, like, the engines are just going to sort of be outdated.
Yeah.
And B, like, the gap between Morrowind and Oblivion and Skyrim and now is, like, a totally different, like, Oblivion came out 2006. Skyrim came out in 2011, so that's 5 years.
Yeah.
And then from Skyrim to Fallout 4, that's another 4 years. And then but from Skyrim to now is nearly 10 years. And so I feel like people have had enough of Skyrim, you know what I mean? Like, people have played Skyrim to death now.
Yeah.
And like it's not as much of a classic as it was.
Very, very, very special edition or something.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like Skyrim and like even Fallout 4. Like, actually, I could maybe see Fallout 4 making a return in a different engine. But with just how different it is from the other Fallouts as well, it's also sort of a case of, like, maybe people don't really want Fallout 4 to be remade. especially with like the dialogue options.
I don't think it's held in the same regard as 3 and New Vegas.
No, definitely not.
I don't know. I feel like the charm of a remake is that you're taking something that is very old and outdated, whereas like the newer games won't age quite as bad. Like,
yeah, for sure.
Like, even though you're gonna be like, oh, it won't age that well. Well, it won't age that well, but it's not gonna age as bad as Morrowind.
No, I mean, I've
just looked. Sorry.
Like, a kid in 20 years could pick up Fallout 4 and be able to play it.
Yeah.
Like, they'd need guidance on Morrowind.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I meant when I said like the engines are outdated. Like,
yeah,
like the Gamebryo that they use for Oblivion, like, does need to be modernized, and that's why everyone's looking forward to Sky Oblivion so much. The Gamebryo that's used for Skyrim, it's outdated, but it's not archaic. Like, you could still pick up Skyrim. Like, I still pick up Skyrim today and have fun with it. I've got Fallout 4 installed now.
Skyrim's really basic for an RPG, though. I'm not trying to slander it. I think it's a good game, but I don't think the RPG mechanics are very deep in Skyrim.
No, the RPG mechanics in Skyrim are like skin deep. That's why so many people have issues with it and prefer to play the older games.
Yeah, but then at the same time, a lot of people at the entry level for RPGs find it really easy to pick up. Like, people who've never played games before have probably played Skyrim as an entry point and gone, that's like really good.
Well, you know, the word accessibility gets thrown around in this sort of discussion, doesn't it? Because at the end of the day, like, it does sort of feel like
accessibility is like, saying that though. That's like it's kind of a what do you call it?
Dirty word, would you say?
No, it's like,
I think
they're misusing it. They're misusing it horribly, because accessibility is like, if someone's disabled and like you want to make it so you can change the controls, yeah, that's fine. But accessibility isn't making your game available to the widest market just because you want to make profit margins.
No, I think it is a word that you can use in various contexts. I don't think it's as black and white as just being like accessibility is only used in the context of making it easy for disabled people.
No, but I mean, like what do you call it? Like, The Last of Us 2 has great accessibility options, but Skyrim isn't. Like, Skyrim's accessible, but it wasn't intended to be like in a way that was like, oh, we'll make the game so everybody can play it. Like, because Oblivion effectively did that with Morrowind, because Morrowind, it's like, oh, that's pretty difficult to get your head around, so we'll make it more accessible so people can understand it. Oblivion did that. Skyrim only made itself more accessible by watering down its like. I don't know, like, what do you call
mechanics?
Mechanics, yeah, they were watered down in Oblivion as well, though, and it's like you see the mechanics used a lot more in the old Fallout games. That's the standard, really.
I don't think I have to totally disagree with the idea that the mechanics were watered down in Oblivion versus Morrowind, because they were basically the same mechanics, except when you hit things, you actually hit them. I think that was like the only primary change. Stats and character building were all the same. But I mean, like, we accessibility in the industry is like like as Joe sort of like rightly suggested, it is kind of a dirty word, because as you said, Sean, people do sort of misuse it. People see accessibility as like a really bad thing, because it does essentially equate to watering things down.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very subjective on whether or not you see that as a good or bad thing, because, I mean, personally, while I can definitely play a lot of CRPGs, playing a game like Baldur's Gate 1 is just really fucking unenjoyable sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Or like, have you ever tried playing Ultima or like that?
Oh, have you played Planescape Torment? Oh my god.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
The combat in that.
That's what I mean. And so, like, people who would, like, if a Planescape Torment remake was to be made today by Obsidian, it would likely be more accessible, because they do it in like the same vein as like Pillars of Eternity or Tyranny, where the gameplay is like very, it's still a CRPG, but they'd also make it so that people who really don't have much background in CRPGs or like tabletop role-playing games can still enjoy it. And I think that's what Bethesda kind of wanted to do for the Elder Scrolls series. Because, I mean, when I was in school and stuff, and Skyrim was still like a really popular thing, I had a bunch of friends of mine who like didn't play RPGs at all. Like, they were like FIFA and COD kids, you know what I mean? And they really liked Skyrim. And I feel like they wouldn't have really liked Skyrim if it wasn't for the fact that Skyrim is, as Sean said, like really watered down when it comes to the RPG mechanics.
Like when I play Oblivion and Skyrim, like there isn't obviously skin. Like when you're looking at it from the outside, like if it was just your mates playing, they wouldn't like they and I didn't see much difference from the outside.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I saw about it, like the only difference really between Oblivion and Skyrim now, even still for me, Skyrim looks a bit better, but Oblivion is just a better game, more interesting, better quests. I feel like there's more RPG elements to it that I can like actually play into. Like Skyrim, Skyrim's good. Don't get me wrong, it's really good, but Oblivion just seems better.
Yeah, I feel like Oblivion has more space for role playing, simply because Skyrim falls into the trap that Fallout 4 does, where it's like you are this person, you will do this.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of that personally, but
no, I wrote about this because I was planning on doing a video about how I've like misunderstood Fallout 4 as well.
You've been replaying it recently, haven't you?
Yeah. I'm kind of like forcing myself to continue playing it now, because.
Can I just say that really quickly?
Yeah, sure.
In Bethesda games, the RPGs, I mean, most of the time it is you are this person, go do this. It's very like it's not as common that you just let to be whoever you want. Like you're the Dragonborn in Skyrim. You're even in Fallout New Vegas, where you don't really have to do anything. You're still the courier.
Yeah, no,
like,
I understand that, I do, but like you don't play such a huge integral role in.
Yeah.
Like in Dragonborn, in Skyrim, you are the Dragonborn. Everyone will refer to you as like the Dragonborn, and it's sort of just like it literally is just like imprinted on you.
I mean, you can choose not to do it.
No, you can, yeah, sure.
Yeah, but then where do you get? Where do you get in the story?
You can play all the rest of the quest lines.
See, this is the thing about the way that Skyrim's designed as well. Is so when you come out of the when you start Oblivion and the Emperor gets murdered and Boris is like, you need to take this amulet. The second you step out of the gates, you get a little menu prompt and it says, "You're on your own now. Go do what the fuck you want. Have fun."
Yeah.
In Skyrim, when you come out of Helgen, like the first place you will go to 99% of the time if you're a new player is Riverrun. And then from there you get directed to Whiterun, and then from there you hear the Great Priest or whatever, is it the Great Priest?
Yeah, because you go to High Hrothgar, don't you?
Yeah, and so you are sort of like tunnel vision down like into the Dragonborn role, whereas in Oblivion you do not need you really don't have to start anything. People will talk about the Emperor's death, but no one comes up to you and says, "Have you delivered that amulet, mate?"
To be fair, that's just like dipping back into the accessibility thing, isn't it? Because it's like people that have never played a game before. If it was Oblivion, and you've played games a little bit, you'd see the big city and be like, "Oh, I must have to go there." And you'll go there and you ask questions. And even in Skyrim, they've just held your hand a bit more with it. You don't step out and see the big city. You step out and one of your mates is like, "Oh, do you want to follow me to Riverrun?" And then you can either be like, "Yeah" or "No." But most of the time, you'll just be like, "Yeah," and you'll just follow them. And it's kind of the same, but just more handholdy.
Yeah, handholdy. That's definitely a good word to use for Skyrim and Fallout 4 actually, because Fallout 4 has the exact same sort of design philosophy. You come out of the vault, the first place you go is Sanctuary, and you talk to Codsworth about your missing son.
Yeah, there's something always in your way before you have to go somewhere.
Yeah.
Whereas in Oblivion, you kind of there's nothing even in the city for you that you have to go do, is there? No. Isn't he? The guy that you have to go find, he's somewhere else.
He's in Wernham Priory, and it's outside of one of the cities.
Joffrey, is that
Joffrey. Yeah, he's in Wernham Priory in Coral, I think. But it's not even in the city; it's outside of the city. You can literally just walk straight past it and go into the city.
Mm-hmm.
And you do get a map marker, and it'll be you can go here if you want, but you don't have to. Go on.
I think accessibility. It's a bad thing for hardcore gamers, I feel like, but for general audiences, and I think for publishers, it's viewed as kind of a good thing. I mean, I've got some statistics up here. Just out of interest, if you two had to guess what the best-selling Fallout game was, which one would you say?
4.
4.
Yeah, it's 4. Yeah. Based on this, and this, I don't know how true this is. Take this with a pinch of salt. This is from this is of March 2020. Fallout 4 has sold nearly double New Vegas. Fallout 4,
Mhm.
as from March 2020, so it's probably sold even more since
Yeah.
then. 13.5 million copies.
Yeah.
Fallout 4 sold.
And this is
And
again,
Skyrim. How many copies do you think Skyrim sold?
It'd be
what
one of the most bought games in the world.
with special edition included, or
Yeah, on every platform.
I'd say 15 million.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Mate, you are dead wrong. It's at least 30 million.
No way.
I swear to God, this is what. Take this with a grain of salt. I'm not saying this is fact, but yeah.
I believe it. I believe it.
Oh, me too. Me too, man.
Especially, it's like as I said, especially with like the special edition coming out and everything, and people rebuying the game more than once. People buying it on Switch, people buying it on PC, and people will likely be buying it for Xbox One X when it gets re-released for the 4th time, because it will. They'll probably actually no, yeah, I doubt they'll sell it as a special edition again. I think they'll just do one of those like free graphical updates that like Cyberpunk is doing and stuff.
Yeah,
if they do
cool.
anything for it, they've kind of like lent into the meme a bit, haven't they?
Oh yeah, they've embraced it.
Yeah, did you see E3 where it was Skyrim on the smart fridge?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was really funny. But
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm looking at. I'm on Wikipedia, by the way. I'm just looking at a list of best-selling video games. Does anyone know what the best-selling game of all time is?
Minecraft or Tetris.
Yeah.
Tetris, yeah.
Okay, both are in the top 3. Minecraft number 1, Tetris is number 3.
Mm.
What do you think's in between, if you had to guess?
Got the top 5?
Correct.
Mm. Yeah.
The amount of copies that sold, I'm looking at that number now, and it just is insane to me.
Yeah.
135 million.
There's no wonder why they're re-releasing it.
It's a license to print money. They'll have made the cost of development back.
They made the
pre-orders alone.
They did. They 100% did. I saw like one of those like I don't even know what it was from. Was it from Game Ranks? You know Game Ranks, yeah, the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
just before you buy and stuff like that, doesn't he?
Yeah. They literally made like a photo, like a poster or whatever, and it was like, did you know that GTA 5 has made all of its money back already? So like they literally have made like billions of dollars off of that one game, and who knows how much more, like in orders for like GTA Online and stuff like that.
Oh, I saw a figure before for how much GTA Online makes. Talk amongst yourselves.
Yeah, see if you can find it.
I read it before.
What?
Shit.
What?
So just last year alone, actually 2 years ago, 2019, GTA Online made $595 million. $595 million from the online mode.
Just last year?
2019.
Oh, okay, yeah, right, yeah.
And
I keep on forgetting that we're in 2021.
Yeah, me too. It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
well, sorry. What do you mean? 2020 didn't happen.
I wish. I mean, nothing really happened other than COVID.
Yeah.
Slightly different topic.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen Valve's had a lawsuit filed against it again?
Has it?
This week. It was a lawsuit because apparently they are abusing their market dominance to keep prices too high.
What?
I don't agree with that.
There's been a file.
Really
there's been a file suited because Steam has a clause in like their agreement where if someone's selling like their game, it has to be sold for the same price on Steam. So Steam has to have the dominant price. So if it's being sold in a shop for £30, it has to be sold on Steam for £30. And if they want to like give, I don't know, Epic Store £20 sale, Steam can just say no.
When you say their games, do you mean Valve made games?
No, anybody that puts their games on Steam, Valve has veto power of the price.
What?
Okay,
That's kind of like that's quite scary, isn't it?
Yeah, I feel like there's definitely some asterisks on that clause, though. I don't really feel like that can't be the end of the story. Surely there has to be some like.
Steam has veto power over prices, so if a multi-store developer wishes to sell their game for a lower price on Epic Games Store than Steam, then Valve can simply say no, and pricing disparity would likely anger Steam users, leading to review bombing, etc.
Yeah, but it says can. They can say no. How often does that actually happen? If it's just a clause, they might never invoke it.
I don't know.
I'm being devil's advocate here.
I feel like that's just something that Steam has just to sort of retain it. I mean, that's just like a business thing, isn't it? It's like you're selling on our platform, like, we'll tell you how much we want you to sell it for.
But that means that there is no competition on any of the platforms.
There never has been, though.
But it still means that there is never going to be able to be any competition.
I mean, yeah, but like
Steam will have top priority prices every single time.
I really don't think that's like the be all end all reason why there'll be no competition, though. The reason
it's a pretty big roadblock. You can't undercut Steam at all.
I mean, yeah, no, I'm not throwing any disparages toward it. I mean, it definitely is like a really big problem. But at the same time, even if that clause wasn't there, what would the outcome be? It would still be Steam dominating everyone, because Steam has always and will always be, well, I mean, probably will always be, I can't see the future, I don't know my crystal ball out, but it likely will always be the dominant gaming platform on PC. Epic Games have been trying, like we said, we spoke about this last week. Epic Games have been trying for a long time to beat Valve now, and it's just not going anywhere near as well for them as they like.
The free of the market, the free of the people.
For sure. But Valve are a very ethical company as well. I mean, that clause obviously might not stay.
Just because our overlords treat us nice doesn't mean that we should have overlords.
You can see them, if you see them as overlords, you are still free to go anywhere else.
But you're never going to get any better deals, because don't you dare do that, Daddy Valve.
What do you mean? I mean, all right, yeah, I see.
You've signed our blood contract.
You can always just take a game off Steam if you don't like it.
Yeah, I'll write to all the big companies and tell them.
Well, but as Joe said, they probably don't really invoke that, because I've never really heard any developer sort of cry, "Woe is me" over Valve forcing them to do anything.
Apparently, the lawsuit, along with Valve, the suit names CD Projekt Red, Ubisoft, K-Champ Games, and Rust LLC, which they think might actually be Rust Limited, the developer of Hot Dogs, Horseshoes, and Hand Grenades, apparently.
Right.
Devolver Digital as defendants, each of whom, blah. But yeah, apparently, Devolver Digital's ready to fight the suit in court.
I mean, that doesn't really surprise me, because Devolver Digital are sort of the, they are, I don't even know how to put them. They're sort of they try to be the rebels of the gaming industry, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
With all of their weird E3 showcases and stuff like that, they do try and sort of parody the gaming industry. And I get it, but at the same time, I don't know why they're trying to mess with the status quo.
Well, I mean, I do sort of understand it, because Steam's in this position where it just almost is free from criticism and just doesn't get challenged by anyone. It's
other than Epic.
I'm just reading quotes and stuff in the article here. One of them says developers are not independently choosing to price PC games at the same level across platforms. They're required to do so because of their agreement to the Steam MFN. Without the Steam MFN, it would be in the game developers' independent economic interest to offer their PC games at lower prices on platforms that charge a lower commission than Steam. So basically, Steam charges their companies 30%, a 30% cut, but Epic charges less. So they would be able to sell their games for less on Epic or whatever.
Yeah, but Epic also have a lot of exclusivity clauses as well, though. Like Epic do say to some developers, like, yeah, if you want to sell on our, you can sell on our platform if you want, and we'll also give you some more money if you make us exclusive for a year.
So Steam, you were saying, has 30% commission.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Epic only has 12. So it's a big difference.
Yeah. But
it's a massive difference.
The games would be able to be sold cheaper on Epic, I suppose, if that clause wasn't in.
Is Epic's exclusivity deals not also anti-competitive though?
So talk me through this. What are you referring to?
What do you mean?
What are the exclusivity clauses? You mean whether it has to be exclusive for like a year or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, but surely the developer signs up for that like willingly and knowingly.
Yeah, that's the developer's right, I guess. Like, and it's not.
But it's the same way that they sign up for willingly if they're selling.
No, but Steam already has a monopoly though. Like, Steam is a huge business that's got itself into this position, and now it's instituting things like clauses to keep themselves in this place of power where there's literally no legal room to move, so you can try to get out of it at all. Mm-hmm. They're big now because they did well, and they're good for them, but now they're putting things in which stop any movement within it. They're going to stay there forever. That's basically what they're trying to implement.
I mean, yeah, the business is a cutthroat world, I suppose. I don't necessarily see anything wrong with Valve having a monopoly.
Monopolies aren't ever really a good thing.
Yeah.
No, I mean, sure.
I know you like them, but
monopolies are just unrefined control.
Yeah, no, I understand that competition's good for consumers and everything like that, but
definitely
only when the competition's really competition.
Yeah, but
we're never going to get competition if Steam keeps itself as a self-perpetuating monopoly.
That's a good point. Okay, yeah, we'll put a pin on this and just see how the story progresses, I suppose.
Yeah, we'll bring you. I mean, lawsuits take a long time to resolve anyway. If it does go to court, it could be there for years. So
I mean, honestly, Devolver Digital's lawyers versus Valve's lawyers.
Oh well, Valve is just a limitless pile of money, and ultimately, with court like cases like this, it's money that wins them. I think.
Yeah, well, I think didn't like the French court try to take them to trial.
I think they ended up just. Yeah, I think they ended up changing some of the laws in some European countries.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because it was like you have to be able to give like a certain amount of days for a refund or something in some places in Europe.
Yeah. Because I remember Ross Scott
without question.
Ross Scott did a video on it, and I remember watching it. And it was like 40 minutes long, but because it was 40 minutes long, I can't remember everything that was said in it. But you know what Ross is like? Ross really hates like games dying, and so he'll see sort of any additional consumer power as like a really good thing. But the thing is that when you because Steam isn't on it's a digital marketplace. There are sort of a lot of caveats that go around being able to buy and sell games digitally, because you can buy a game, copy and paste the files, find a crack for it, and jobs are good. And so there's a lot of really weird legality around being able to get refunds. And some of that stuff just can't really be fixed. What are you looking up?
Not really.
All right. Well, anyways, next topic, Resident Evil 8. We were talking about it last week. Did you guys see REverse? I think I spoke to you a little bit about it, Joe.
Yeah, it's just the online thing, isn't it?
Is that the 4-player online game?
No, that's there was a 4-player online game released with Resident Evil 3. But I don't.
Yeah, Resistance, I think it was called.
Something like that. Yeah, REverse is coming out with Resident Evil 8, and it's essentially a team-based PvP game where you can play as different characters from different parts of the franchise.
Right.
So you can.
Play... Oh yeah. It just reuses all the old assets.
Yes, literally. I watched the trailer for it, and all of the assets are reused. The only map that I think was shown was the police station from Resident Evil 2. And
yeah, it's a good fucking map, for a single player game. I don't know how it's
a very good map. It is a very good map. I'll give them that. but and all of the characters you can play as are from Resident Evil 2 and 3.
Yeah, I'm just looking at screenshots here, and I can already see the graphical fidelity just looks lower.
Yeah,
you can see just like the cartoony lines around all the characters.
Mm-hmm. Is it free to play? Is that the?
It's free with anybody that's got Resident Evil Village.
Okay, okay. Right. Well, I mean that'll count me into it then. I'll definitely have to give it a try because I'm definitely getting Resident Evil 8.
Mm.
But all of the assets look reused, and it really sort of angers me because it's essentially a AAA asset flip, isn't it?
I mean, it's like they're just chucking shit against the wall and seeing what sticks, isn't it?
Yeah, because they tried this. They tried this with Resi 3.
You know what it is? It's like you've got these corporations being like, "Oh, well, FIFA makes 50 million a year. Why isn't this?" Mm-hmm. So like the games companies are trying to make really good games, and then they're also trying to find like their FIFA Ultimate Card Pack simulator that will make them loads of money.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously that it doesn't work with this type of game. Not yet. It hasn't anyway.
Yeah, I really
they're trying to make a Rainbow Six Siege. That's the best they could make. But I could never see something like this turning that popular.
No, I can't either. I really don't know why they're continuing this like multiplayer Resident Evil experiment, because they tried it with Operation Raccoon City as well, didn't they?
Yeah.
Like that wasn't. I mean, fair enough. That was a co-op game, and I don't really think that had PvP. I never played it. But I don't think that had PvP, did it? Did you guys play Operation Raccoon City?
Raccoon City. I didn't. I don't think it did. Like, unless there was like a little weird multiplayer thing in it, but in the main game, it wasn't really a big thing.
I think I had co-op, or am I making?
There was co-op. You could play the single player with 4 people.
What was that other Resident Evil game? There was another one that was like a huge shambles.
Oh, from like 2013 or something, was it that one?
Yeah.
It was the
Resident Evil 6.
No, well, I mean, like, yeah, but Umbrella Corps, that was it, Umbrella Corps.
Yeah, when did that come out?
2016.
Oh my god, did I say 2013? I'm really behind on the times.
Yeah, Umbrella Corps, I remember that was another sort of multiplayer Resident Evil game, and it bombed.
Yeah, I remember seeing footage of that, and I was like, Jesus Christ.
Oh, God, yeah.
I honestly thought Resident Evil was dead at that point, and then they came out with 7, and I was like, all right. And then they did the remakes, and, you know, it's just back in full force now.
Like, that's like 3, like, very mediocre Resident Evil multiplayer attempts.
It's not the developer's choice, though. It'll be the publishers asking them to stick on a multiplayer mode so they can try and get some like longevity.
See, I don't know, because Capcom are fairly sensible developers.
We live in such a weird timeline, don't we? Like, we live in the timeline where PT got cancelled, and someone at RE7 was like, "That's good, that's good. Make one of them."
Yeah, I would have rather had PT, like, but. You know,
I know, but Hideo Kojima's got his own company now, so that's a pretty good timeline.
He can't make PT though. He can't do another Resident game.
But he can make a horror game.
Well,
he can make any horror game. He can make any game he wants, really.
Well, he made Death Stranding.
Yeah, look at me giving him the permission. Go on, Mr. Kojima, you can go do it now.
You have our permission. Go on.
Oh, so you know Noah Caldwell.
Yeah.
He did like a really long video on Death Stranding, and there was a quote in the video that I really liked, and it was about like trying to understand Death Stranding and like what it was about, because it is obviously a very arty game, isn't it? Have you seen?
It does have a proper story, but yeah.
Have you seen the Netflix series The Good Place?
No, I haven't.
No.
It's about a woman who dies and goes to heaven, and
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she goes to heaven, and heaven's like a really nice place, but it's sort of like a case of identity fraud where she has the same name as someone who was like a really good person, but like she went to heaven instead of the other person in like some like weird heavenly mix up, I don't know, and
the glitch.
And so and like in the first episode she asks like, so which religion like got it the most right, and he said. And one of the quotes in the series is he talks about this guy who got really like stoned on mushrooms and just started like he said, oh well, the Christians got about 5% right, the Muslims got about 10% right, but there was one guy who got really high on mushrooms one night while he was in college and just went on a massive tangent about what he thought happens after you die, and he got it about 98% right, and he's really famous around here. And he was like, that's like a really good way to think about Death Stranding, because you know, there's so many interpretations, and we're never really going to understand anything that's actually happening, and only Hideo Kojima can really come forward and put forward like a clarification.
I mean, you can definitely. There is a story, but I mean, like, it'll just like the deeper meaning, I guess, will mean whatever it means to whoever plays this.
That's what I mean. Like the motifs behind it are sort of very like there's no objective like reason or explanation behind any of the motifs. I think you can interpret them however you want, and I feel like if Hideo Kojima did like go to make PT, I think I'd be really scared about what those motifs would be.
I mean, look at the PT that we got, right? So when he made it, I think it's pretty much the closest thing that you can get, like, in a simulated experience to an actual ghost haunting happening to you in real life. Because, like, when it came out, it wasn't under Kojima, Capcom, or anything. It was under an unknown game company name. So you didn't even have you didn't even have the comfort of knowing that it was made by a company that, like, you know about, but it was this game with, at the time, fucking amazing graphics from a company that you'd never seen before, cutting edge. And when you play it, you've got nothing telling you what to do, and you're in a tiny hallway. And even the like, this might be looking into it a bit too much, but like the weird like quests at the end where you have to like speak names into microphones and stuff, that kind of brings in more of like the unknown of like, what the hell am I doing? Like, is like it almost feels like a real ghost haunting, and you're actually trying to survive to get out of here with all these like super convoluted things that completely take you out of a horror video game atmosphere. It's actual real fear instead of it being a video game that you're used to with all the tropes that you're used to. Like, there's even a bit where you have to find like a piece of paper, and one of them's in the start menu. Like, even in a place where you thought you were safe, no, it's in the start menu.
Yeah, I feel like that is one of Kojima's like really. I feel like that's one of Kojima's big positives when he makes games, is that he thinks outside the box a lot.
He's perfect at taking you outside your comfort zone, and being outside your comfort zone in horror is exactly what you want.
Did you know that they had this thing with PT where if you installed the game, this would have been when it came out. If you installed the game and like had played it and stuff, and you had your phone number linked up to your PlayStation account, you that they had this pattern where it was gonna send you text messages at like night and stuff to your phone from an unknown number, like really creepy shit, and you'd be like, oh my god. And it was the game. I'm not even this. How cool is that though? I'd be like, whoa.
There is a gaming subgenre called alternate reality games, and I think that fits perfectly into that. Do you know about them, Joe?
No, I've not heard of them.
So it's essentially like games which incorporate things from the real world that can be like used. Like, I think Ross Scott did a video on The Secret World, and there's like a phone number that you can ring, and if you ring it, it gives you a clue on like where to find something in game or something like that.
Okay.
There's it's games that have like puzzle solving elements where you have to actually go and look for things in the real world. And I think like PT definitely would have done something like that, wouldn't it?
It's like in video games where you'll see like a website or something or a phone number, and you'll type it in and it'll be real.
Yeah.
You'd be like, whoa!
Or like in Breaking Bad, there's like SaveMyDad.com or something.
Oh yeah. Before we get off topic, right, Joe, what did you think of the Resident Evil demo?
Yeah.
It was okay.
La 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 la.
It was all right.
What do you rate it?
Probably like a 6 out of 10. I mean, it's short though. Is the thing.
Yeah.
I blasted through it like really quickly.
It honestly took me about half an hour. Like, you said it took you 10 minutes.
Well, I mean,
I was probably over exaggerating.
Did you play the Resident Evil 7 demo, Joe?
No, I never played that one.
Okay. Well, Sean, you definitely played the Resident Evil 7, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. would you say that the demo wasn't like would you say that the demo was like representative of the quality of the final game?
7, no, it really misled you, and I think that was kind of a good thing.
Okay, but like just speaking on like yeah, I suppose it is hard to say because it is a demo. But I think you can see what I'm trying to get across here. Like, do you really think that the Resident Evil 8 demo is going to be sort of representative of the final build?
I think that the game is going to look exactly the same, and it'll play exactly the same. In those terms, yeah.
Yeah.
I will say the setting is like a million times better than Resident Evil 7.
Yeah, the decor in that game is amazing.
Interesting. Yeah, it's
like,
really good.
The like you only ever really see this type of like intricate decor in the third person ones, where like Resident Evil 1 and 2, where you're in the man in the police station.
Yeah.
But like the first person ones, like they have so much detail in them. Plus, it's right up in your face.
Yeah.
In like HD detail. So seeing like it's a pretty good like 17th century manor, or at least it looks like that.
Did you have the bit where you came out of the? Are we going to go into spoilers or not?
Sure, we can spoil the demo because the demo has nothing to do with the actual game. It's a completely separate entity.
You know the VHS tapes in Resident Evil 7.
Is it like one of them?
It'll be the equivalent for this.
It's not. It's different. It's not in the game at all.
You're definitely not Ethan. Well.
Yeah.
I'm 95% you're not Ethan.
You're definitely not Ethan.
No, because in one of the trailers for the game.
No, because Joe, she does this.
Yes, yeah, like, I know, but Ethan had his fucking hand, his arm.
Yeah, but she doesn't. Yeah, but that never happened. That never happened. Usually, when that happens, someone's down for good.
Yeah, getting your eyes gouged out is a little bit more permanent than having your arm sawn off. Like,
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure there's in one of the trailers, like she's like, "Oh, Ethan Winters, we finally meet," or something like that.
Yeah, because she's like, "Let's have a look at you."
She says something very similar at the end of the demo when she meets the playable character.
Okay.
That's meant to be a completely separate thing than what's going to be in the game. You know, like in Resident Evil 7, it was like a VHS tape. It's not meant to be like that with this demo.
Okay. So this won't be in the game.
Yeah, it's meant to be a completely different thing.
If that's the case, they put a lot of effort into the demo.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking because, like,
that would actually, to be fair, that would increase my rating of it. If it was made purely just as like a teaser to bring you into the world, then actually it does a really good job.
So should we go into full spoilers now? I guess we already have. Like,
fuck it, we may as well.
How do you feel about the main character dying in the demo? I saw it coming so far away. Like it happened in Resi 7. What? You weren't gonna get away.
Yeah, if it is a demo that like just sort of exists purely as a introductory piece to the game, then of course they're gonna die. Like,
yeah, I know, but it's like you're getting chased and you're like, oh no, help me, and you're meant to be like, it's meant to be like your heart's meant to be beating, but you're like, well, I guess I go through the door where I die now.
I wasn't scared at any point. Were you?
No, like when you come out the doors and you see the woman going up the stairs.
Oh yeah.
I went up and I was looking at her, like, because she doesn't attack you.
She does if you get too close.
If you go in front of her face.
Yeah, she like stabs you and kills you. Yeah, I got that. The first time I heard the footsteps and I was like, right, so there's not going to be any models there because there never is in Resident Evil games. You just hear footsteps. And then I went and there was someone there and I was like, oh, that's really cool.
Did you see that the model for that actress passed away?
Yeah, she was 39, man. 39.
Yeah.
Yeah, she had like, I think it was colon cancer or something, and she was still working on Resident Evil 8. So big respect to her.
Oh, that's
yeah.
Well, I mean,
it's tragic, but
Michael Ironside was battling cancer when he was working on Conviction. I'm pretty sure.
No, it was after. That's the reason he didn't do Blacklist because he didn't know whether or not he was going to die. Or something.
I know that's the reason that he didn't do Blacklist, but I'm pretty sure he did have it when he was working on Conviction.
Well, he could have been. I mean, I don't want to speak in like absolute. I'm not sure, but
no, I'm not sure either. But I'm fairly certain I read something about it. I don't know.
It is, it's tragic. It sucks. So when we play the game, we'll dedicate it to her honor. Hopefully they'll put something in the credits about it as well.
I'm sure they will.
Dedicate the game to her or something.
Yeah. Well, speaking on cancer, Rust is blowing up on Twitch.
Why?
Just a bunch. It's just going through one of those sort of late stage blowouts where a lot of streamers just decide to play it randomly and
Game
lots
of
people,
the week.
Yeah, game of the week. Yeah.
It's like all that chess bullshit that was going on that literally nobody cared about.
I cared about it. I love chess.
I know.
But yeah, no. And so I wanted to talk to you guys about this because me and Nathan sort of had a bit of a discussion about it recently. We were talking about flavor of the month games that sort of like blow up for like a month and then, you know, lots of people play them and lots of content gets made around them and then they just sort of die out, fizzle out very rapidly. Like it happened with Fall Guys. Like Fall Guys was really popular for like a month, and then Among Us was really popular for like a month, and now it's Rust. How do you guys feel about these? Because like personally, like I remember when Fortnite was like, you know, at the peak of its popularity, and I said to myself like I'd never play this. This looks fucking terrible. But like I actually did play it, and I had like an okay time. Like I still didn't really find it that enjoyable, but like I really like I had like a massive stigma towards games that were popular just because they were popular.
I mean, games that are popular are usually popular because they're fun.
Yeah,
because they're accessible. See that? I brought it full circle.
Shut up, man.
Like let's be fair, Phasmophobia is a flavor of the month game.
It was, yeah. Phasmophobia was definitely a flavor of the month game. But I mean, like I think and again, like, okay, so this is if you want to bring the topic full circle, we can talk about how people sort of rally the pitchforks whenever a game that they love gets popular because of gatekeeping. Because there was a lot of people that were coming after the Rust streamers, like Penguin Zero, you know, like Moist Critical.
Yeah.
He did a video basically addressing a bunch of drama that was going on because him and a bunch of other streamers all got together on this like private server, and it wasn't like it was a roleplay server. Like it wasn't your typical sort of sit in a bush and wait for someone to come past and shoot them in the head with a bolty and take all of the gear sort of server. Like it wasn't really that kind of experience, and everyone sort of knew that going into the server. But a lot of sort of Rust veterans who have got like 10,000 hours, and that's literally like the whole sort of camping and shooting other people experience is like all they do and live for. They were throwing a lot of criticism the way of the streamers, because they were saying like, you know, this isn't how you're supposed to play the game. You're encouraging a way to play the game that is different and therefore wrong to your viewers who are going to come and try and emulate the experience that you're having in other servers, and we don't want that. Like gatekeeping, like, what do you guys think about gatekeeping? Do you think it's a big problem in gaming?
I mean, let's be fair though when we say like a lot of this stuff will be coming from kids. Like, and when I say kids, I don't mean like little kids. I mean like people that are probably 16 and younger, and when they come home from school, gaming will be a big part of your life, and that's probably a lot. Like, I'm not saying that like these types of things aren't genuine, but like you've got to have not that much going on in your life to really be that concerned about how somebody else is playing a video game.
I feel like there's a lot of zealotry.
Like, who cares?
Yeah, I get that. Like, it is.
Yeah, like, who can have fun wrong?
Yeah, true. A lot of people, apparently. I suppose, like, when you're looking from the outside in, like, it's sort of just easy to be like, oh, who cares? But if there are that many people who genuinely are willing to go to the lengths of, like, sending really angry messages to people for having fun in a way that they deem wrong, then, like, it surely can't be just like it surely can't just be like such a one-sided thing where they're objectively wrong. Like, there has to be something there, like something justifiable.
So what do you think should be done about it?
I don't know, because there's like,
what's the inherently wrong thing?
Well, I mean, what do you mean? What's the inherently wrong thing with what?
Like, what's the harm that these people are doing by perpetuating a play style that isn't the norm?
Well, I mean, I'm not of that mindset, so I can't speak for the people. But what I think what they're thinking is that it will harm their experience in the long run, because they will encounter more people who, like especially in Rust, because I feel like Rust is one of those games where if you don't have 5,000 hours in it, you're considered a noob by everyone else who plays it, and people won't let you into clans and stuff like that. And so, like,
I mean, you get shit like this all the time, though. Like, there's a big thing in TF2. It's like obviously TF2 has a lot of kids playing it. But you get servers where like people know going into the servers, if it's on one of these two maps, you're probably going to get somebody like a lot of people being stupid and just messing around. Like Badlands is a good one for it. It's a push map where you push your things, but if you push, people will kill you because you're meant to just stand there and have fun and whatever. Obviously, people fight each other. People want to fight each other, but if you're like a heavy there with no weapon, with like a Sani, like nobody's going to bother you really. But I think you know that going into it, and it's not that hard just to have servers where you know going into it that you're going to have a certain experience. It's been done for years.
Yeah,
it's been like, isn't Rust like, it's grown off basically from Gary? Well, it's not from Gary's mod, but it's the same idea as Gary's mod, where it's like modding the game to be something else.
Well, I mean, kind of. I mean, it is Face Punch.
Yeah, I just mean like you're gonna get like in Gary's mod, you always get like. Sorry, I'll start again. You get in Gary's mod all the different game servers that you can go on to do all your different shit. If you wanna mess about, just mess around on your mess about server.
Yeah, true, but like for servers which aren't just mess about servers, where people sort of do take it seriously, like.
Then if you look at a server and it's like, I don't know, like Bozo's 250 slot PvP server, and you go in and you try to roleplay with somebody and they shoot you, then you can't be mad because you've went on Bozo's PvP server.
And I feel like the same applies to when you go on a roleplay server and you just shoot people.
Yeah, like if you go into a bar and get annoyed when people start drinking, I think you're in the wrong place, bub.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, like, again, I don't think that gatekeeping is really justifiable, especially like when it comes to video games.
I just think it's a non-issue, really. Like,
no, yeah, it is a non-issue, but like as I was saying, I don't think that it's justifiable, and that it is sort of a problem because nobody should really gatekeep.
You're always gonna get it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I don't like that's what I was kind of saying with like, I don't think it's justifiable, but like. There has to be something there for so many people to be doing it.
I don't know, because a lot of people, even if a lot of people are doing something, it doesn't mean that there's something there. That just means that a lot of people can be wrong.
I guess, but it's like a common denominator thing, isn't it?
Just because everybody's doing it doesn't mean that it's the right thing.
Yeah, no, for sure.
To some people it does, though.
Depends on what you're doing, I suppose.
People need to think for themselves, don't they?
Yeah. Like us three,
mob mentality is a big thing, though.
Us three, we're all big into Dark Souls, yeah.
It's just
yeah. Do you not think Dark Souls has a really big gatekeeping problem?
Yeah. Get good. It's kind of a meme, but it's also like it's like the get good meme.
It's zealotry. It's pure zealotry, isn't it?
Yeah. Like, if you're like, oh, I'm having trouble fighting this, you probably will just get told to get good. But a lot of the time, you can just look online and find an easier way to fight it.
Yeah.
Well, Connor, you perpetuated that, because I remember me and Sean were stuck on good old Ishin Ashina for ages, and you were just like, get good, get good.
But that's a meme, but that's a meme between us three, because I'm not.
Oh, I know.
I'm not really zealous. I mean, like. I think I used to be when I first finished like Dark Souls 2, and then I finished Dark Souls 1, and I was like, yeah, I'm such a mint gamer, because there's sort of like an elite status that comes with being able to finish a Dark Souls game. But
I don't know if there is, I think people play up the difficulty way too much.
That's what I mean. Like, there's a, but I shouldn't say it, there's a perceived elite status that comes with being able to beat Dark Souls.
Yeah, anybody can brute force their way through Dark Souls. Like, if you finish Dark Souls, it doesn't really mean anything.
No, but like people think it does, and I used to think it did, and then I actually I don't know, grew a few brain cells. I still think there's an elite status that comes with beating Ninja Gaiden, though.
You just got to be fucking rock hard, don't you?
Just puts me a cut above the rest of humanity, really.
That's when you start getting. Go on, sorry.
No, you
I was just gonna fucking shit post out my mouth. It's fine.
No, because I'm gonna segue. So if you want to say something,
I can't remember now.
Oh shit, sorry. Well,
I mean, a final point on this whole gatekeeping thing. Counter-Strike has esports games have a really big gatekeeping problem as well.
Yeah, League of Legends.
Yeah, League of Legends is a really big one. I mean, I don't really play League, so but I only know from what other people say about it. I've never experienced it myself, but in Counter-Strike, I've definitely experienced where people have been silver, and they've posted in a group that they want to find a group of people to matchmake with, and you'll get these global elite face at level 10 wannabes that just come in and say oh, you're too shit to play in a team, you need to focus on getting good first, and it's let them have fun. It's a game, it's a video game. If they want to just fuck around in matchmaking and just pop heads, then let them do it. They don't need to sit in offline servers and land smokes 17 hours a day to be worthy of playing matchmaking in groups. You know what I mean? Yeah. Joe, your segue.
I was just gonna say it leads a little bit into something I wanted to talk about this week. It's related to Soulsborns. I was just going to ask, do you think the emergence of the Soulsborne genre, or Souls-like, I should say, not Soulsborne, I don't know, Souls-like genre, do you think the emergence of this is a good thing? And is there any Souls-like games you've actually played where you've gone, hasn't just tried to emulate Dark Souls or Bloodborne or whatever, but has actually gone on to carve out its own unique identity? And do you think Souls-like games can ever truly break away from the influence of Dark Souls games?
Well, I think it's you sort of just answered your own question, because it's again, a genre that's as broad as action can anything can be done and be called an action game, but so the Souls genre isn't it really a genre? It's a subgenre, because it's
linked to difficulty.
Yeah, well, not even difficulty. There are just certain conventions that have to be followed. It's stamina combat and sort of slow-paced exploration.
Not necessarily, right? So I'll run you through some examples of some Souls-like games, and tell me if you think they're Souls-like or not. So we'll start very easy, right? Sekiro, is that a Souls-like?
No.
No.
Yeah, no, it is really.
I don't think it is.
I don't know if it's just because it's the From style, but I think it is really similar. The only thing it doesn't have is a defined stamina system.
Yeah, it has save areas where you can stop an enemy's respawn.
Yeah.
You spend souls to increase your level.
No, you just buy abilities. You don't necessarily increase your level.
Yeah, you get EXP, and then if you get a certain amount, it gives you a level. Is that how it works? A skill point, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's skill.
I haven't played it for a while.
It's skill points though. Skill points are actually things that they're buying additional moves rather than just increasing arbitrary numbers.
So, alright then, is the Surge a Souls-like game?
The Surge is more of a Souls-like game, yeah, because it's stamina-based combat with more conventional RPG leveling up mechanics.
Neo?
Neo's the same, yeah.
I think Neo is.
Ashen?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ashen's pretty Souls-like, yeah.
Right, so are you saying it has to be a third-person game? It can't be something
I'm saying, before
it can't
you
be
say,
something like
Hollow Knight.
Blasphemous. Remember that one?
No, I've never seen it.
Oh, I've heard of this. That's the side-scrolling one, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Salt and Sanctuary, I played that to completion. That's commonly referred to as a Souls-like.
That's it. Yeah, I disagree with that label personally for Salt and Sanctuary, because it's much more of a Metroidvania.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Can you really say that? Is it really what do you call it? They're not mutually exclusive.
I'm not saying the genres can't be blended, but predominantly, I'd say it's predominantly a Soulsborne, but it's primarily a Metroidvania.
Dead Cells as well. That's a roguelite, really, but you could still say it's a Souls-like.
I mean,
or a
yeah,
Souls Light, or a Rogue Vania. It's like you can put together as many words as you want.
Yeah, for sure. But see, but like, I think we're specifically talking about the emergence of the Souls-like genre, aren't we?
I know, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, you can't really, like you said that it involves stamina, but then it comes up like Sekiro. You and Joe both had a different opinion on whether or not it was a Souls-like game.
So, do you think it's subjective, and also do you think it's just an arbitrary thing?
Well, I mean, you also get people being like, "Oh, it's the Dark Souls of the Tetris gaming world."
Yeah, you know that's what I mean?
I'd say that that's more of like an industry buzzword that was used by gaming journalists.
It's still used a lot though, like the Dark Souls of VR. You know what I mean?
I'd say it's used in jest now more than anything.
Yeah, I think it just goes to show how much of a cultural impact like the Souls series has actually had in a short space of time as well. To be honest,
for sure. I think my original point was just to say that, like, I think the Souls genre has such like a strict set of conventions that a game has to meet before it can like consider itself a Soulsborne game, like objectively. Because I mean, like Neo and the Surge are objectively Soulsborne games. I don't think there's any way of going around that. Same with Ashen. Ashen, like, if it adheres to the exact same design principles as Dark Souls, you know, open world, slow paced exploration, stamina based combat with boss fights. You press an R1 and R2. Like, even the control schemes are the exact same, you know what I mean?
There's not that many boss fights in Ashen, though. And a lot of them aren't very...
I think there's 5.
There's 5, right? And you never get an enemy that isn't a humanoid or a large humanoid.
No, for sure, but those... I wouldn't, like...
Ashen was low budget, you have to remember.
Yeah, I know, that's what I'm saying. Like, there aren't specific things that games need... There aren't specific criteria that games need to hit to be considered something. They can take aspects from... They can take small aspects from the games, like, even if it just has, like, a checkpoint-based system where enemies respawn and you can use that checkpoint to level up. That's pretty Souls-like. Yeah, but it might not necessarily be embedded in a game that relies upon its, like... what do you call it? That relies upon that as the core gameplay.
As I said earlier, aspects, as me and you both said earlier, like aspects of genres can be split across and shifted towards loads of different categories. And you know, you said you said, you know, there's loads of different permutations of like genre that you can make, like rogue vanias and stuff like that. But I think the original question was, you know, will Souls games ever sort of break out of the shell of being will they ever break out of Dark Souls or Shadow? And I think my answer to that was just, if you are trying to be a Souls game and you have these Souls-like mechanics, then no, because you will still be seen as a Souls game.
I think games have already started breaking away from that, because I think bigger than the like physical like mechanics that Dark Souls has left behind and all the games that came after it, you've got the idea that games are expecting more of you now. Like, and I think that's a better contribution than the actual mechanics that they've brought forward. Because, like, even if it's not a game where you're rolling and fighting and using your gun to parry and everything, like Hades that came out last year, that game expects quite a lot from you if you want to beat it. You can throw yourself against it loads, but like games are at least from what I've seen in some aspects, games are starting to expect a little bit more from people when it comes to trying to emulate that type of experience. At least, I don't think Hollow Knight's a hard game.
Yeah, but like so was Castlevania, released in the 80s. Like I don't necessarily think that Dark Souls was the game that sort of popularized the notion that games should be challenging.
You really don't think that games have got easier over the past few years?
No, not really. They've got more accessible.
Which can also be said easier to control and look at and use.
But accessibility also comes with the caveat that you can just set your own difficulty.
Yeah, but there's a difference between a game where you can set your own difficulty and a game where the difficulty is set and is tailored to that one experience. Because Dark Souls, you can't say that Dark Souls would be the same if it had a difficulty slider.
No, absolutely not. I'm not saying that at all. I disagree with the idea that Dark Souls should ever have a difficulty slider. But at the same time, as I said earlier, Ninja Gaiden came out 2002 or something like that. That was a really hard game. I'd still consider it to be harder than Dark Souls personally.
Yeah.
And it like that
I'd
pushed
say
games to
like
limits.
it was harder than Dark Souls, and that's probably why you didn't get like things that stick quite as much, because if it's too hard, people aren't going to want to play it. I think Dark Souls hit that balance really. Where like with Ninja Gaiden is really hard. Like it's pretty darn hard if you're not paying attention. You can probably just throw yourself against Dark Souls and you'll beat it.
Yeah.
But I mean, similarly, you could just say that you can button mash in Ninja Gaiden and miraculously make your way through.
I think Ninja Gaiden requires a lot more skill than Dark Souls.
I'd agree with that sentiment, but that's not my point. I think my point was, like, just because Dark Souls is easier doesn't mean that Ninja Gaiden didn't. Like, I think that Ninja Gaiden's lack of success compared to Dark Souls came more from the fact that it came out during the original Xbox days, where games like that weren't as sort of like, people didn't really like find the whole like challenging gameplay niche as enjoyable.
Well, I guess I'll reword what I was trying to say. Like, I feel like new games now that get called Souls-like, or like try to emulate like the Dark Souls genre, I guess it's tried to be used as a compliment for them, because saying that something is Souls-like kind of infers that there's a very fine level of craftsmanship to the game that makes it so it has a reason to be that difficult.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know, because did you play Mortal Shell, Sean?
Well, yeah, I know you're gonna say, but like obviously you're gonna get you're gonna get bad games that try to do it and don't get it right.
Well, I don't know, because a lot of people, from what I've seen online, a lot of people in the Souls community said that's the best Souls-like they've ever played, and I think it's one of the worst. I really didn't like it.
Yeah, I agree. I really didn't like it either.
I mean, yeah, okay, that's subjective, but I don't know. It's just weird, isn't it? It's just so bland.
I haven't played that game.
What's that one that came out that's set on a spaceship? Does anyone know which one I'm on about?
The Souls-like?
Yeah.
Oh, Hellpoint.
Hellpoint, yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
I was meaning to try that one, actually.
Nathan was begging me to buy it.
Yeah, I looked at it. I thought it looked okay, but I was like, I'll give it a go, but I never got around to it.
Outward as well.
Yeah, I saw Outward. Which one's that? It's like the MMO one, isn't it?
It's only co-op. It's only 2 players.
All right.
But that's like
Is that the one that what's he called? Seth did a video on.
Yeah. Well,
people.
Me and Nathan played it like a year before Seth made a video on it or something like that, and it was like we felt like I did a video on it as well on my channel, and like it's open world, but it's like an open world sandbox rather than like, you know, in Dark Souls where it's open world but the world's interconnected sort of thing.
Yeah.
Well, like Outward is just like you can go wherever you want. There's a bunch of different cities and stuff.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I've just looked at this. I remember Outward.
Yeah. It's more of a like it has Soulsborne combat. Like it is like stamina based, you know, rolling and using R1 to hit and stuff like that. But it's also got like more of a survival element to it, because you need to keep yourself warm and fed, and like and you need to like stock up on water and stuff like that. So like,
is it early access?
No, I think it's out now.
It looked quite. Oh, I don't mean to rag on the game. I thought it looked quite like early access. I watched your video on it, and it had that like look to it.
Let me see. I think it was early access when we played it.
I think games look very early access when the graphics are like, you know, you get like reflective skin and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like the Rust special where everything's like really reflective, and like just the overuse of motion blur a lot makes stuff look really cheap.
No, yeah, it is out, and I think it. I said I thought it might have been an early access, but it was made by Deep Silver.
What?
Yeah, the people who made Metro and Dead Island and stuff.
No. Deep Silver was the publisher, right?
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Not the dev. Not the dev.
I don't know who developed it.
The developer is 9 Dot Studio.
Okay.
Never heard of them.
And, yep, it was made in Unity, as you might expect.
Yeah, I knew that. I could tell just from when I played it, like just the look of the game.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, Connor. I watched your video on the Dead Linger again last night as well, actually.
Okay.
And you mentioned that personally you prefer working with Unity over Unreal.
If I'm programming.
Right. Why is that? Simpler to use.
I just know C#. Plus, there's I think there's a lot more documentation on programming in Unity. Unity is obviously very powerful for programming as well, but I think it's it's 6 and 2/3. Unity is very code based, whereas Unreal uses something called blueprints, which is visual scripting, I think. I don't know too much on it because I am still quite new to Unreal Engine. But if I'm gonna work on a project and I want to just test out some game test out some game code that I'm writing, Unity is very sort of there's a lot of documentation on it. There's lots of forum posts that you can read up and stuff like that, because whatever question you have, someone else has probably already had it and posted it, and somebody else has probably already answered it. And so I just find working in Unity very it's a lot easier and a lot quicker to get along with as compared to Unreal Engine, because I have a problem in Unreal Engine. I find that it's a lot more convoluted to find a straightforward answer. But that's again I've only that only really applies to environment art and stuff, because that's all I've ever really done in Unreal Engine since I've started using it.
Fair enough.
But Unity was also sort of the whole reason that a lot of more people use it over Unreal Engine in the first place is because Unity is more accessible.
Yeah.
And Unity has been developed to be as friendly as possible to most people. But enough about that. Cyberpunk. Let's talk about Cyberpunk a little bit, because we haven't done that this podcast yet.
I know you've just been dying to hear about it.
Yeah, well, it's only a small bit of news, and then we can just move on. But Cyberpunk's CDPR have added modding tools for Cyberpunk. Do you think this is
actual modding tools?
No, so it comes with an asterisk. The modding tools they're not full blown. It's not a developer SDK like Hammer or anything like that, or the Creation Kit. It's not even a Steam Workshop thing, or anything that they've added to it's GOG Galaxy, isn't it? The CDPR launcher. GOG Galaxy.
Oh, good old games, GOG.
Yeah. They've got their own launcher, haven't they?
For what do you call it? Only for CD Projekt Red games, yeah.
Yeah. So it's they haven't added anything like a Steam Workshop to that. It literally is just data mining tools.
Right.
So you can open the game and fully explore its innards. It's nothing is not even a Bethesda mod list, where you can start the game open and look at all the mods you've got enabled and just click them if you want to enable them or not. And I mean, Bethesda went one step forward by introducing that as a in-game mechanic, didn't they, with Skyrim? Because in Skyrim you don't even need to open Workshop, the Nexus or the Steam Workshop anymore. You can just do
it in the menu and then restart the game.
Yeah, which I thought was really cool. So when I first heard that Cyberpunk was adding modding tools, I initially thought it was going to be something along those lines, but no, it's not. It's tools that will be useful to modders, but only to modders who are seriously willing to put themselves through a lot of pain.
But someone's got to fix the game.
Yeah.
I know, it sounds like they're using it as a bit of a crutch.
I mean, do you really think that? See, that was my question. Do you think this is a sort of a step in the right direction?
I think CD Projekt Red, have they intentionally just give all this out for everybody to use?
Yeah, it was a CDPR release. It wasn't.
Yeah, then they're probably just throwing everybody a bone because they're it'd be good to get some what do you call it? Customer integrity back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Start doing some stuff for the community again.
Some goodwill.
Yeah. Also, so last week we talked about System Shock 3. System Shock 3 is still in developer hell, still in the coma. However, System Shock 1, the System Shock 1 remake, looks incredible, and pre-orders are opening next month. I wonder if you guys have seen the trailers?
I think I have a while back.
No.
So it is going to be like a full-blown remake. So like the System Shock 2 HD or System Shock 2 Enhanced that's coming out as well alongside it. But I mean, have you ever seen the original gameplay for System Shock 1?
I think so, yeah.
It's so archaic. Like I considered getting it and playing it, but I like because like you know me, I'm a bit of a niche highbrow gamer. I don't mind playing games that are like a bit old and rusty. Especially if the sort of like cult classic games. I still like playing Daggerfall sometimes. I don't play it very much because it does get to a point where I'm just like, fuck this. This is just so like intimidating and just hard to get into. But I'll dip my toe in the water and I will occasionally have a really good time. So I was debating doing the same for System Shock 1. But from what I hear about it, it is just like another level of like hard to get into. And so I'm really looking forward to this remake because this remake looks accessible. We've been throwing that word around a lot today, haven't we?
Well, I guess dummies need to be able to play games too.
God, you're starting to sound like one of these gatekeepers we've been talking about.
Nah, I'm accessible.
Joe, didn't you say you had a topic that you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we'll all have that much to say about it, to be honest, but it was just, I know sort of there's been quite a few video game movies over the years.
Okay, right, yeah.
And I was just going to ask if you ever think that they're like a good idea, and if there's such a thing as a good video game movie, because I know there's an Uncharted movie in the works. Have you two heard about this?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard about it.
Tom Holland is set to play Nathan Drake.
Oh, why?
Oh, yeah.
Right. Okay. Right. So I'm guessing you don't know this, Connor. Do you know? I don't think you've played Uncharted, but you're familiar with the characters, or at least the principal characters.
Yeah. Well, I'm familiar with Nathan Drake.
Do you know Sully?
Is that like his best friend?
Yeah, the old man.
It's like his mentor / best friend. He's a bit older than him. Do you have like a rough idea of what he looks like in your head?
Grey hair.
Grey hair, mustache.
Yeah,
he's like a grizzled old man. He's got like a really like
too old for this shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, great voice. He's really well voice acted. Who do you think they picked to play him?
Tom Hardy. Tom Hardy.
Sean, do you know who it is?
No.
It's Mark Wahlberg.
Really?
Yeah, seriously.
Really?
You know,
yeah,
you know what, Joe? It's really funny that you've brought this up actually, because I shit you not, the next topic that I have lined up on this document right now, and Sean, you can open the document and confirm that I'm not bullshitting, is Kevin Hart is in the new Borderlands movie as Roland.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I saw
Yeah.
How is he going to play Roland? He's so short.
No, I mean, like, well, obviously, if you've played Borderlands in the past, like, I don't know, 10 minutes, you'd know the humour of Borderlands, and that's not going to translate very well to the screen. Like, it's annoying enough in-game, right? So I bet you, right, I bet you Kevin Hart is going to be the butt of every single joke. He will be played straight, like, he'll be the only straight man in the entire movie, like, trying to, like, be serious. And the joke will always be, haha, Roland short, and to take it serious. Stop taking it serious, Roland, you little short man.
Yeah, that's why I hate the Fast and Furious films, because every film that like The Rock is in nowadays just seems to always be like the same thing. It's like, me big muscle man.
Well, haven't you seen there's meant to be a Minecraft movie?
Is there?
Yeah.
No.
Did you see the Monster Hunter movie?
There's a release date for Minecraft the movie.
Right, is it going to be a 3D movie?
I don't know.
If it's going to be animated, then I don't care. But if it's like
Minecraft the movie,
but if it's like
it's animated.
Okay, well I don't care. Then that's fine. Because as far as I'm concerned, Mojang will probably have a massive hand in it, and they'll just make it like Minecraft story mode. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like
that. Like it'll be the same thing. But have you seen did you guys see the Monster Hunter movie?
I didn't see it. No.
It had
it had Mila Jovovich in.
Yeah.
Was that her name?
Yeah.
She was the main character for the Resident Evil movies as well, wasn't
yeah,
she?
yeah. Well, I mean, like the Resident Evil films were also pretty good.
I actually don't mind them.
Yeah.
Critically, they don't review that good, but they're not bad. Like they're not terrible. They're mindless fun, and for what they are, they're not high art, but I don't mind them. They're not bad.
Well, did you see? Did you ever watch the Silent Hill films as well?
I also don't mind them actually, because the source material is so strong.
Yeah.
You know what actually are actually some really good movies that were originally games? All the Lara Croft ones.
I don't know if I've ever seen them, They did a new one recently.
Did they?
Did you see about that?
No.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, wasn't it with a different actress though?
Yeah, different actress, yeah. Forget her name.
They did a Need for Speed movie, didn't they?
With Aaron Paul, yeah.
Paul?
Yeah, I do remember seeing the trailers for it because it was right after Breaking Bad.
Bad.
Is it bad?
Yeah, I didn't think it was great. It has nothing to do with the source material. It's a racing movie with the Need for Speed name.
Well, I mean, what is the source material for Need for Speed exactly? It is literally just cars go brum brum.
Ding 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 ding.
That's Fast and Furious. Tokyo Drift is such a sick film, though.
Fast and Furious is good.
I rewatched Tokyo. I really hate the Fast and Furious films, but I'll rewatch Tokyo Drift.
Have you seen how old the Fast and Furious films are now? We've seen what they were stealing in the first movie. CRT TVs. A lorry full of CRTs. That'd be going straight at the skip these days.
No, they'll be put on like the Facebook Marketplace. It's like job lot £10.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, conversely, do you think that movie games are good? Like, or could they be good nowadays? Now that game development has sort of came so far.
What do you mean, movie games?
Well, I mean,
movie tie-in games.
Yeah, because back in the day, there used to be like
Detective Pikachu's a movie tie-in game.
I didn't even know it had a video game.
Detective Pikachu? Yeah. Oh no! It doesn't have a video game. I thought you meant like video games that were movies, not like movies that also have video games.
No, I'm primarily talking about video
like
games.
A movie that's been turned into a game, or a game that's been turned into a movie.
Yeah, or like alternatively a franchise, like a movie franchise that's had a game
Pokemon
adaptation.
Then Pokemon Detective Pikachu. That's live action. Ryan Reynolds.
No, he means.
I'm talking
games that are based off a movie.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Quantum Break. Do you remember that?
No, that wasn't based off a movie. It was a movie in a game.
Yeah. It was a game that used live action, that had live action elements in it for whatever reason. But no, yeah, I am specifically talking like Alien Isolation. That's a really good example of like a movie tie-in game. That like
it's not a tie-in though.
You know what I mean though? Like it's a franchise tie. Like it's a movie that's based off of it's a game that's based off of a movie.
Oh right.
The Spider-Man ones.
The new Spider-Man games are actually pretty good.
Yeah.
The Warriors, do you remember that? That was a Rockstar game.
That was a really good movie tie-in game. Yeah, see, this is my this was just my question was like, obviously back in the day, like, did you ever play Jumper? Or have you ever seen Jumper, the film about the guys who can teleport?
Oh yeah.
I remember hearing about it.
I think I saw they did a really shit like Batman Arkham Asylum like clone, didn't
No, mate.
It was before that, mate.
It was way before that. I owned it.
2006.
I owned it and I played it and like, so you know all the face buttons like A, X, Y, and B.
Yeah.
So when you like, it was an arcade style beat 'em up, and
I remember, because when you use the abilities, you teleport people away, don't you?
Yeah,
and you can like leave them in like the desert and shit.
Yeah, but there's only like 3 variations of that. Like, scene. But
there's the desert, there's like the Antarctic and the ocean, and that's it.
When you run up to people, like you lock onto them automatically, and the face buttons just correlate to like 4 different points, like behind them, in front of them, to the left of them, and to the right of them, and you can attack them, and like that's it. That's the whole gameplay. And that was a terrible tie-in game, and there was a lot of other really terrible movie tie-in games back in the day as well. Like there was a really bad Thor one. That Angry Joe did a video on.
It's just shovelware, isn't
it? Here's a recent one for you, actually. The Avengers one. Have you guys seen that one?
Yeah. See, that's like
a colossal.
Please don't bring it up because that was the game that killed Eidos Montreal.
No, are they gone?
Well, they're not making Deus Ex games anymore, are they, Joe?
It is a massive shame. They're probably going to go out of business. They've lost a lot of money.
Eidos Montreal was in charge of making the Deus Ex new trilogy. They were making the third one, and they got told, "No, you're not doing Deus Ex games anymore. You're doing this." And then they got made to do Avengers.
Is that actually what happened?
That's what happened.
Eidos Montreal made the Avengers game.
Yeah.
I honestly didn't even know that. I thought it was some shit like new company or something.
No.
Well,
that's really sad.
That's exactly what happened to Dead Space. EA told Visceral Games to make the newest action-packed, like.
Don't get me started.
Then Visceral Games got closed down for doing exactly what they were told.
That's EA though. EA have
Dead
like.
Space 2 is one of the best action horror games ever made.
I think
it's up there with Resident Evil 4 in my opinion.
Even though Dead Space 2 has the more memorable locations and stuff, I think Dead Space 1's the better game.
It depends what you're basing it off. I've only played 1 and 2. I haven't played 3, so.
I haven't played 3. Well, I've played 3 a little bit, but.
I have it on Origin actually.
Same.
I don't think I've played.
I'll do the multiplayer with you. Could you imagine?
Wait
in the multiplayer, right? Isaac, like, you play as Isaac and another guy, and Isaac gets like mental delusions, and that player sees stuff the other player doesn't.
That's right. And then you're like, whoa, and you're like, right. I'll tell you what. Next month when I get paid, right, I'll start building the biggest PC in the world, right?
Are you finally going to do it? Because I'd honestly love to get you in on some of the games that we can play.
Also, Matt, I want to talk to you guys about, right? Mm-hmm. Have you seen the Yakuza games 4, 5? Well, 3, 4, and 5 have all been remastered and they're on PC now.
Oh, they're on PC?
Yeah, so you can actually play through all of the Yakuza games remastered now in preparation for the new Yakuza ones.
Brilliant. That's really good.
How many Yakuza games are there?
At least 10. Well, I mean, there's 6 in the main series.
No.
And is there not?
No, because
you've got listen, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Those are the games, right? And then you've got 0, 1, Kiwami 1, and Kiwami 2, right?
Like a dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you've got Like a Dragon, Judgment, like.
Oh, okay, yeah, fair enough.
So there's probably about 10 or 11 or 12.
God, it's the game,
and that's all. That's in less than 20 years.
It's the episodic gaming release Yu Suzuki always dreamt of.
And on the same topic we've just been talking about, there's going to be a Yakuza movie apparently.
It's well suited for a movie.
Could work.
That could work. The setting's great.
I don't feel like 2 hours. I don't feel like 2 hours is going to be anywhere near enough time for it, but it could work.
I know. That's what I was thinking.
It'll be like one quest from the game.
Yeah. Oh, it'll be like you have to use your little RCXD car to go through the city and get the guy that's been stealing all the women's panties and beat him up.
Which one did you play? Did you play Judgment?
Yeah, I played Judgment most recently.
I've only played 0 because my intention was I'd play 0.
1, 2, and then 3.
Yeah, Kiwami 1, Kiwami 2, then get the remastered, and then see how I felt about that, and maybe get 6 and the new one. Because how much do you know about the Yakuza games, Connor? Because they used to be just on PlayStation, but they've branched out a lot more now, which
only
is good.
From the stuff that you've told me, which is like the gameplay is essentially sort of spiritually linked to Shenmue.
It's like a modern, actually polished Shenmue.
Yeah, I feel like playing Yakuza 3 now would be like that's essentially like playing Shenmue. Like, have you seen Yakuza 3? It's so wacky and just weird and like.
Is it?
Yeah, it's the one where you're in an orphanage at the beginning.
Yeah, you're on Okinawa, aren't you?
Yeah, like you've changed your life and like you're trying to be like this like stand-up guy now, and it's just so strange. Like, because the kids all talk to you in such a weird way. Like, it's just imagine like Yakuza dialogue, but like cranked up a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do plan to play through all of them, but the reason I mentioned how much you know about them, Connor, is because the fighting style was kind of like, how would you describe it, Sean? Like beat 'em up almost.
Would you compare it to Shenmue's?
Yeah, you have abilities and stuff.
You
You
can't describe it, can you? Like,
you learn new moves.
If you play any Yakuza game, you'll know what the fighting's going to be like in pretty much all of them.
Okay.
But unless you've played them, you can't really explain it. Because, like, the way I'd explain it is by saying, "Oh, it's like the fighting in any other Yakuza game."
Yeah. Okay.
But,
like that's the way I'd explain any of the fighting in any of the Yakuzas. Well, it's just like the others.
That's the way you'd explain any of the fighting in any of the Dark Souls games as well, I suppose.
I've been playing through Borderlands 3. I have no.
Oh my god, me and Nathan have as well on PC.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
I have no real intention of like, oh, I'm gonna finish the story. I'm gonna do all the side quests. I put it on when I'm bored. And
I've a bone to pick with Borderlands 3, right? Because the gameplay is like the best gameplay out of any Borderlands game, but also like the gameplay is also the worst gameplay out of any Borderlands game. Because it's so good, right? You can just play it and not even really be doing anything. You'll have fun. Because like the movement is so nice, and just shooting things is so cool. Like exploding people's heads with a shotgun and stuff is so great, and just sliding and killing everyone. But like, it's the weakest the AI's ever been. Like, it's so easy, and there's no difficulty. There's no difficulty sliders unless you've already completed the game, right? So all the bosses are fucking easy as, and even if there's foils there, and like, but the gameplay's so good. Like, I want to play it, but it's like the game doesn't want me to play it.
Is that your game of the week, Sean? Because I feel like this episode has definitely exceeded its runtime.
I guess so, yeah.
Okay. Joe, what's your game of the week? If you have one.
My game of the week is 13 Sentinels Aegis Room.
Okay. Try saying that 5 times. What's it about?
Yeah, it's an Atlas game, which is good, but yeah, it's weird. It's not what I expected. Someone described it online as like Persona with mechs, so I was like, "Oh, brilliant!" But it's really not that at all. It's like it's almost more like a visual novel. Like it's got different timelines and it overlaps and stuff, and it's really the plot's mental. So
one of them thinky ones.
Kind of. It's like you sort of have to be paying attention to everyone's stories because they're not all over the same set of time. Like they'll overlap at different points, and then there'll be points where they don't, and then they'll overlap again later in someone else's story, and then you're like, oh shit. Yeah, it's weird.
My game of the week, Stardew Valley.
Nice, good choice.
It's just so calming.
Yeah, you need it after doing your university assignments, don't you?
But I have been doing lots of work recently, so I just play it to just unwind, and it's such a great game for unwinding. I'm gonna go play it now, actually. Thank you everyone for watching this far of the podcast. If you made it so far, I feel like I said this to Sean while we were sort of taking a break. We've definitely rambled on a lot more this episode.
Yeah, this week's been like all over the place. It's just been.
I mean, I guess like not as much stuff happens every week, so there's gonna be some weeks where we just talk.
Yeah, I feel like next week I'll try and focus less on news and more just on general talking points.
Yeah, I think we should have more like recurring segments as well.
Monkey news.
Ooh, chimpanzee that.
He's only one gonna written it down.
I'll bring some monkey news.
Oh, can we have a monkey news segment, please?
Monkey news segment, okay.
Do you want monkey news? Because I can bring monkey news. You're asking the right person.
What the monkey's been getting up to this week, then, Joe?
Well, I mean, since the Ricky Gervais podcast, we've had like 30 years of monkey news.
There's a huge gap to fill.
Yeah, we're gonna fill it.
We get a cease and desist off HBO Max.
We'll see.
If anything, we'll get a cease and desist off HBO Max because, I mean, I'm starting to look like Ricky Gervais now.
God, right. No, right. I know we live in a simulation only because we live in the same timeline where Ricky Gervais was the frontman for an 80s ska band.
Yeah.
That's some Mandela effect shit, that.
What was it called? Sonona Riding or something? No. Something dancing?
Oh god, what the fuck's it called?
Siona
dancing.
Oh my god, Siona, it doesn't matter. I'm ending the podcast. Thank you very much to everyone who's watching.
Tune in next week for monkey news.
Tune in next week for monkey news. Oh, fucking.
Bit of monkey news.
Okay, bye.
Bye.